So I was telling you about this girl, this patient of mine, who's now 19 years old, and who had problems with dysorthographia. And however, she wasn't really dysorthographic. It was only a lack of methodology. So we managed to help her with that. Before that she opened to me, I had to ask her several questions. I had to know about her history. I must say that she has had a depression before. I asked to test her. She didn't want. I had to reassure her, gain her confidence, and just ask her a few questions about herself, about her life. We were being funny about this as well. I asked what she wanted to be one day. She told me about some holiday she spent in Berlin, and that's the way we made quick progress. I asked her as well to dictate something to her and to see how many mistakes she was going to make, because this is a dictation of Prosper Mérimée, a very famous dictation, and even Napoleon made 75 mistakes. Very important, famous, very intelligent people, ambassadors, made numerous mistakes, and she only made 24. So I asked her to write me a letter that I could present here at Mensa today, and I shall now translate it for you. I was the youngest of 4 girls, and I was always very quiet. People didn't notice me. It seemed that the person who was the loudest was the one that people were going to listen to the most. I was very quiet, reserved, and independent. I would say those are my main character traits since childhood. Other words that would describe me would be sensitive and scared, but these words are much more linked to my condition. In my childhood, I have always been different. Different from my sisters, different from my age mates, different from the children at my school. Some people said they always thought they knew about my abilities, but they never knew what this ability would bring and how many problems this would bring with it. When I started primary school, teachers started noticing me, and children started to not like me. I had to change school because of it. I then had a quiet childhood up until the age of 8. I had good teachers, and they were very nice to me. Unfortunately, from that age onwards, people started to emphasize one of my main weaknesses, which is still my main weakness today, my clumsiness. I had difficulties of playing with other children, running with them, walking upstairs without falling down. I couldn't write properly. I would stain myself often, and I was very bad at creative activities such as art. And so at age 8, as I was saying, unfortunately, the emphasis was put on sports and on creative arts, which I was very weak at. People said that I lacked motivation and that I had a total incapacity of creating something beautiful with my hands. Teachers sent me to the tests, but they thought I was retarded. They said I was just too stupid to do those things with my hands. This is when I first became very unconfident and had a big lack of self-confidence. The teachers thought indeed, and that was the first teacher to think that I was stupid and that I was amongst the most stupid children in the class in terms of intellectual abilities. Other children were bullying me a lot. As I was keeping to myself, I started to hate myself. And the tests showed that I was gifted. My mother was very happy, and she went up to the teachers and even to the director, school director, to show them the results and ask them for something to change. They put me in a new class with a really young woman and a teacher who was very nice to me and taught me a lot. Unfortunately, this didn't help to restore my self-confidence. The years afterwards were very chaotic, and of course, everyone knew about my case. Everyone knew I was gifted. The teachers started to dislike me, to sully me, to tarnish my name. And that's when my parents first started to be worried about me. But as I said, it was too late. Everyone knew I was gifted. No school wanted to have me. Everyone thought I was a child with problems. So I went to see a psychiatrist who couldn't do much else than just notice all the damages. I had a school phobia. I was absolutely terrified, and I shut myself down completely, not wanting contacts with anyone. I defended myself as well and established defense mechanism because I absolutely hated school. Then when I started pre-high school, teachers started to get more and more annoyed, tired with me, and stupid children became really, really mean to me and started to be even meaner than before. So when I was aged between 11 and 14, teachers started to hate me as well. Other children bullied me, and their bullying became more and more violent. I started to dislike myself, to hate myself. I knew I was too intelligent, I understood everything too quickly, and I was bored at school. I was too sensitive, so the suffering was even worse. It was just too much. So I knew I had difficult behavior, so I started to make fun out of the teachers, to disrupt the classes. I was questioning the teachers' knowledge, and I was answering back at them, making blistering remarks. I decided not to do anything anymore, so my parents started homeschooling me, so I was doing this long-distance course. And then I managed to get good marks, doing the least that I possibly had to. However, my self-confidence didn't increase. When I was 16 and when I started to do my A-levels, everything became better. However, I had to retake a year, but this helped me to make friends. I felt more brave and more motivated. I finally had my baccalaureate diploma, and I managed to forget this system as well as I could, this system that destroys all differences or tries to destroy them. The current school system sees intelligence as a handicap. I think the schooling system is just a way of making us learn everything off by heart and then repeating it, spitting it out again. This is not really intelligence. This is not how learning should work. There is a quotation that says, in order to live happily, it is better to not know what you're learning. The main thing I remember is that often parents don't know how to react when they're faced with children like me, children that are more intelligent than them. You can't ask a child to hide or conceal its intelligence and to erase or conceal their sensitivity. It's however what people are asking today. The only thing I know, and that's common experience for all gifted children, is the fact that we would have preferred to not be gifted. But today I'm reassured because when people look at me, and I know that all gifted children have this experience of people looking at them, I know that one day those people will see our talent. They will read our books, read our novels, hear our music, and look at our paintings. This will be our vengeance under the school system that didn't make an effort to understand us. A schooling system for which giftedness is a handicap. Giftedness is not a handicap, it's only the school system that makes it one. So, even as I'm reading this letter, I'm very emotional about this because I know how difficult this must have been for this girl who even had to resit a class, and I'm still shivering just reading this.
Je trouve cette lettre très typique, très émouvante. Quand je l'ai lue moi-même, j'en avais encore des frissons, la chair de poule. Je rajoute d'ailleurs un sentiment de révolte. J'éprouve à chaque fois du ressentiment, de la douleur par rapport à certains. C'est une honte pour ceux qui, sachant, ne voulant savoir, n'agissant pas et voulant juger sans comprendre. Voilà donc le cas de cette jeune fille. Je passe à d'autres cas pratiques. J'ai une petite fille.
I would like to add to this letter that it makes me very angry and it hurts me. I think it is shameful that some people don't know about this. They act without knowing and they try to judge people without being aware of everything. Now, the second case is a girl that was at preschool, and she was 6 years old, and she had a speech delay, which is not to be confused with other problems that only appear at the age of 6. She had deglutition problems as well. Her father was a twin, and his twin brother had the exact same problems of deglutition. And now, of course, there can be organic causes in this field, and the consequences are just absolutely the same for the handicap. The girl improved substantially in her deglutition problems. So after this, she wanted to skip a class, and her parents wanted her to skip a class as well. She absolutely wanted to learn how to read. The school psychologist, however, concluded that they should absolutely not allow her to skip a class because they thought that she absolutely wasn't mature for it and that it was only to please her parents that she wanted to skip a class, which I think is absolutely shameful. I would now like to speak about another case. These are two brothers who are both dyslexic, dysorthographic, and they also present a case of continuous hyperactivity. We gave them psychostimulants, which helped, and they tried to learn. However, there were numerous difficulties. The teachers and the parents got very tired. There were numerous conflicts, and it even resulted in a divorce of the parents. After time, it all improved, and their mother actually told me one day, "It seems to me that I just have new children now."
Ils essayaient d'apprendre leurs leçons, comme l'on dit, les 4 fers en l'air sous la table. Les instituteurs, les institutrices n'en pouvaient plus, les parents également. Il y a eu même conflit et divorce par la suite. Au bout de quelques temps, l'amélioration était nette, et la mère m'a dit un jour, j'ai l'impression d'avoir sorti du placard des enfants tout neufs. Et l'un des enfants a fait Sciences Po. Un autre présenté... Ah oui, pardon.